Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about Invasion, a new series streaming on Apple TV+. The first 3 episodes are out now. Before we go into it, please make sure you like this video if you end up enjoying it, and please make sure to subscribe if you're new here. We keep up with all the new movies and TV shows. But let's get into Invasion. I'll give you guys my thoughts on the 3-episode spoiler-free review, and I'll give you guys my rating on it at the end. So Invasion is obviously about an alien invasion, but it's told through the perspectives of a bunch of different characters. I would say we get about 4 or 5 different perspectives of different characters, and we get to see this alien invasion occurring throughout the world, right? Through the perspectives of all these different people in all these different locations. And most notably stars Sam Neill, who we all know from Jurassic Park and In the Mouth of Madness, Event Horizon. Really great actor. I'm glad to see him acting again, see him in something that's notable. And I have to say, this whole series is boring. I know this video will end up turning into a rant by the end, but I will say the first episode was decent. You do need to have some patience in the first episode, right? They're trying to tell a story. They're trying to tell it in a certain way. And the first episode, it's okay to be a little bit boring if you're trying to set up something really great. But as I found with the next 2 episodes, it just leads nowhere, right? But so the first episode, a little bit boring. The most notable cool thing is that there's this relationship. There's like this domestic issue. I don't want to spoil the big twist, but that was interesting to see. We see like this space rocket. The Japanese people are going into space, so there's like this cool like space dynamic. And then there's like this cool ending at the episode 1. And it made me want to see what was in store for the rest of the series. You know, the episode ended in like this weird alien way. It sort of reminds me of Cloverfield, if you guys ever seen that. You know, Cloverfield, we kind of never see the aliens, but we know like chaos is happening, like, you know, all this chaotic stuff is happening, but we never see the alien. That's sort of what this show reminds me of. We never really get to see the aliens, only at various points that I don't want to spoil, but we do see some alien-like creatures. Which is not enough to really make me feel excited. I'm really bored. And so now the second episode, this is the episode where I realized that I don't really like the show. That's when it just all started to click that I'm not going to end up liking the show. I didn't care about the characters. Barely anything was happening. And when stuff was happening, I just didn't care enough, you know? Because it's like I said, we never see the aliens, so it's a lot of this chaotic stuff happening. Not like aliens are shooting down, but just there's like, you see on the news, like global catastrophe, like people are running around. If you saw the movie that came out last year, Greenland, it's sort of like this apocalyptic thing, the same thing where, you know, everyone's chaotic and trying to get out of certain places, you know, so people are stealing cars. But the characters are just so shitty, like, I don't care. And even the acting and the line delivery and the lines were sort of cringe at times. Not abysmal acting or line delivery, not saying it's terrible. The Apple TV, they're able to put out like clean looking shows, as we see like in Foundation, another show I'm covering. But this just had no substance to anything. The characters that we see the perspectives from, I didn't care for. We see like this group of army guys, and they're just like, you know, like fun-loving army guys. But it's just dumb. Like there's a scene in the second episode where they're singing Moana, this theme song from Moana in the car. For a long time, they're singing Moana on the bus. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, what am I watching? It's just dumb. And then we have these dumb kids who are all annoying. They're all super annoying. We're all focused on this one kid who's like this like loner, listens to alternative music, really cool. But then, you know, he just has like this bully, and this kid is always like in every scene, and it's just stupid. And then another annoying part is that there could be something cool that's happening. Like all of a sudden they're on the bus ride, and then meteors shoot down, and then the bus is like about to crash. I'm like, oh, okay, now this is interesting. But then like it just cuts away. Like the bus is about to crash, and then it just cuts away. And then we're put into another boring scene with drags on for too long that's conversation based. But there's one too many times where like I was just pulled out of the scene because, you know, the line delivery was bad. Like there's one scene in the second episode where the dad's trying to get out, and he's like, take me, but leave my family. And then the people leave, and then the wife is like, you coward. She's like, get in the car, you child. And it just sounds so bad. I was like, this is awful. I'm like, this is terrible. There is some interesting stuff going on here and there where looks like this alien invasion has some sort of effect on a certain amount of people. Like there's one scene where everyone's nose starts bleeding, like the kids' noses are bleeding. But that happens literally in the first, second episode, and there's no explanation even by the third, which is fine. I'm not saying I need explanations for that stuff right now, but literally for everything, there's no explanation. Even by the third, I'm just still like, what is going on? We still haven't really seen these aliens. We have no clear indication of what this show's going to be like. I honestly think this is how this show's going to go. It's going to be the same thing like we've seen. It's going to be this chaotic, apocalyptic chaos stuff going on where these people are trying to figure out what's happening. And then we never see the aliens, but like we know they're out there. But I don't know. It sounds interesting when I say it out loud, but just I think it's executed really poorly. And then one of my main draws for the show that I wanted to watch it was because of Sam Neill. And let me tell you right now, Sam Neill's in the first episode like pretty much throughout the whole thing. And then the second and third episode, he's not in it at all. There's not one scene with Sam Neill. So I don't know what his role will play in the future of the show. But I mean, why not have your main character, like your main draw to the show in the next 2 episodes? So then I saw by the end of the second episode, I really did not like it at all. I hated the second episode. I thought it was so boring. And then there's like this cool ending, I guess. It was like a WTF ending, as we finally see like this alien-like creature. And then just ends, and I don't know. I just like, I was numb, and I was like, this is like, is this really gonna be worth the wait? And I saw people were like, oh, people nowadays have no patience. Maybe I don't have patience, but I think for the first episode, like I said, you can have patience. But when you're giving me 3 episodes, that's 3 hours. Each episode's an hour long. That's 3 hours of someone's time where I don't know how to feel. Like there's no payoff to anything yet. But that's literally just my thoughts after the first 2 episodes. There's still a whole another episode. And it's the same stuff that happens, chaotic stuff. It felt such a tedious watch as I'm watching these kids do like some Lord of the Flies stuff as their bus crashes. So the kid's like, who wants to vote me as leader? And I'm like, what am I watching? It was so dumb, I'm telling you. And it just sucks the life out of me. Literally life draining to even watch. We just watched a couple like arguing because I said that domestic issue that happens in the first episode. So they're arguing, you know, the dad's a dickhead and they're just in the motel. The army guy is stranded with some other dude in this episode. They speak different languages, so they can't understand what they're saying. So they just start singing by a fire, and I'm like, just show us something interesting, please. And then by the end, like, we have this kid that draws for like such a long scene, and then it ends on this weird recording. That's the thing. It ends on a good cliffhanger where we hear maybe like aliens talking, and then that's how the episode ends. So I'm like, are you kidding me? So I'm going to give you my rating for the show right now. I'm giving it 2.3 out of 5, right? Not abysmal. It's honestly higher than expected because, like I said, the first episode was okay. I think I rated the first episode maybe like a 3.1 out of 5. Second episode was like a 2, and then third was like a 2.2, right? So it's a little bit better than the second one. But I like to compare it to Cloverfield, even though Cloverfield's different. It's a low budget, first person shaky camera movie, right? Which is entertaining. This is just boring, clean looking feel with not much going on until the very end. Cloverfield, I don't want to compare it to Cloverfield because I think Cloverfield's good. But Cloverfield's like that same thing. We don't see the aliens for the whole movie until the very end. And each episode for this show, we don't really see much until the very end when they give us something. So I'm like, it's not worth it though. It's not worth sitting through a whole hour of an episode just to get a little tidbit of something at the very end. It's slow, it's boring. Will I continue to watch it? I might give it one more episode. Maybe these 3, was the patience episode. Maybe you did need a little bit of patience just from the setup something. And then maybe the 4th will be like making contact. Maybe like we see something. I don't know. There's no action. There's no thought-provoking concepts like Foundation does. Like Foundation doesn't have that much action, but at least there's some like thought-provoking stuff going on and better characters. This Apple TV Plus show has nothing. I think it's terrible. I think it's so bad. I do not recommend it at all. And I do not think there's no chance in hell this will be renewed for season 2 because I honestly think it's a bad show. But let me know what you guys thought of these first 3 episodes, if you enjoyed them, if you saw it already, if you plan on watching it. And if you ended up liking this video of my rant, please make sure to like this video. And please make sure to subscribe if you like hearing me rant about bad shows and hearing me praising good shows. So like always, please have a great rest of the day, and I will see you all in the next video.